I move that the question
I'll call Hiru Calvert. No.
Mr Chair, thank you. I'm sure people have been looking forward to me taking a call since Thursday.
I'm not.
It is probably confusing the Attorney-General that he sometimes says that access can be restricted in the Waihi-Tapu area and sometimes says it isn't, and that may be why he's a bit being concerned enough to feel the need to be rude about my colleague. It would be helpful if that stopped. This bill should have been called the Marine and Coastal Different Rules for Different Races Bill. Not only is this one of the worst bills to come before the House in living memory, but the entire process has made a mockery of our democracy. The Select Committee process at its best is an example of democracy in action. It listens to the people and recommends changes to legislation according to what the public says. What we have seen with this bill is the Select Committee process at its worst. Despite spending month after month travelling around the country, listening to and reading thousands and thousands of submissions vehemently opposed to the bill, the Select Committee reported the bill back without even one amendment. It was as if there had been no consultation at all. Members of the Select Committee might as well have stayed at home. Accordingly, the bill should be changed to the Marine and Coastal Abusive Process Bill. More importantly, in the end, the substance of this bill flies in the face of the basic principle of equality before the law. The idea that all citizens are equal before the law is something integral to all New Zealanders. This bill, however, legislates for the opposite, which is why it should be called the Different Laws for Different Races Bill. The first hikoi marched for Māori to have the same access to the law as other New Zealanders. We supported that then and we support it now. Instead, this bill creates undefined and unclear tests such as substantial interruption and more than minor, against which Māori have to test their claims for customary title. No other New Zealander has to do this. Māori, like all New Zealanders, should have the right to take grievances to the courts and, most importantly, for these grievances to be measured against common law tests, not vague, ambiguous tests invented by politicians. Yet another reason to call this the Marine and Coastal Different Laws for Different Races Bill is that it provides for a new set of property rights only available to Māori and will allow some iwi to override the laws of the land regarding resource management around the coast of New Zealand. The Auckland District Law Society said as much in their submission on the bill when they stated that the bill gives Māori unjustifiable legal privilege. This is especially the case as Māori who already own freehold land do not have the right to circumvent the RMA, nor do they have permission rights that will be granted to them under the bill. The whole idea of the bill undermines the principle of one law for all, a fundamental idea of democracy. This bill should equally be called the Marine and Coastal Ignore Public Opinion Bill. Early in the process, the Prime Minister said that he would proceed only if the bill had widespread support. He promised he would listen to the people. Well, the government didn't listen to the review. They didn't listen to the 5,000 plus submitters who wrote in against the bill. They didn't listen to the over 500 submitters, speaking for hundreds and thousands of others who came to the hearings. They haven't listened to their constituents. They won't listen to the hikoi which arrived at Parliament today. The government just won't listen. One thing, this bill cannot be called as the Marine and Coastal One Law for All Bill. As a country, we need to keep talking about what one law for all New Zealanders means. One law is clearly set out in the Treaty of Waitangi. To ignore one part of the treaty is to disrespect the rest. Successive governments have strayed from this principle, and this bill is no exception. ACT is the only party that has always argued for equal rights, not special rights. Other parties may not like it, but one law for all is one of the fundamental principles that should guide this House in everything we do. This bill breaches this principle. In doing so, it disrespects the treaty.
Call the Honourable Shane Jones.
Tēnā tātou katoa.